Hello and welcome back to Digital Assets Daily. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in your corner of the world. Ripple lawsuit, John Deaton notes what might be good news as big date approaches. SEC does not have a strong argument against Ripple. So over the weekend, the SEC filed its memorandum in opposition to the Ripple defendants' motion for summary judgment in the ongoing lawsuit. As Ripple enthusiast who goes by the name Bill on Twitter has expressed his views about the SEC's counter arguments to the Ripple defendants' motion, he feels the SEC has not raised a strong argument in response to Ripple, stating that the SEC would have been in a better position if it were targeting specific Ripple sales or offers of XRP. And again, on Twitter, you can see Jeremy Hogan and John Deaton having a conversation back and forth there. Don't look at the screen if you're driving or working. Stay out of trouble. Come back and review this later. And again, if you're interested in the full article of anything that we discuss, it's always available in the description below. We always provide the links so that you can further research and read the full articles if we don't go into a complete discussion on them. Also, too, some of these, man, there's so many cookies you can just keep adding and adding. Even though you can delete them and erase them, it kind of annoys you with the ones that you want to keep. So I don't always open these. My apologies if you are looking at your screen with the little pop-up thing that's going on right there. Point is, the next article, Ripple Labs engineering director announces exit after nearly 10 years. So Ripple Labs director of engineering, Nick, apologize if I butcher your name, Bujali, confirmed that he will leave the company after almost a decade, becoming the latest of cryptocurrency's long-serving executives to exit the sector. So that's pretty interesting because he has been with them for quite a while. Also, too, Ripple CTO says he could have been part of Satoshi, and here's what happened. Satoshi Nakamoto disappeared about 12 years ago. Ripple CTO David Schwartz said he could have been part of, in quote, Satoshi, a small group of people that created Bitcoin, but sadly he only found out about the world's first cryptocurrency back in 2011. The pseudonymous Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto disappeared about 12 years ago, precisely in December 2010, and remains one of the biggest mysteries in the crypto space. And again, when we first started, he himself stated, David Schwartz, stated on working on Bitcoin when he was still with the NSA. XRPL picked by innovative DLT game hub Equilibrium, and here's why. Again, no surprise that this channel, been a big fan of XRPL, and try to support a handful of projects. Some make it, some don't. But again, remember to invest only what you can afford to lose and do your own research. Never trust any influencer or anyone else just by the word alone to see if it's something that fits you. But having said that, I got an EQ, the Equilibrium, and it has been since the beginning. For me, it has done well. But again, I have tried my best to support the XRPL and the assets on there just to see how that goes and how that plays out, because I always felt like it was going to help XRP, the whole Ripple thing, if the community was expanding and growing, and if the XRPL had more utility on it as well. But we'll see how that plays out. I think I think it's also opened the door for a handful of not so good projects to be on there as well, which hasn't been very good for the reputation. But we'll see how that plays out, because there are a handful of good ones equally. So this game developing company makes games on the XRPL and explains why this blockchain suits it best, choosing XRPL for Equilibrium Gaming Hub. The tweet proudly states that the XRPL and especially the XRP community were chosen because they always or have always been about utility and making things that have actual use cases, improving the status quo of way of doing things. The company stated that its game hub Equilibrium EQ aims to push centralized games from the market and connect them to the world of finance. And again, guys, remember, this is not financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. But as always, before we go, I'd like to leave you with a final thought. At first, dreams seem impossible, then improbable, than inevitable. And guys, remember, if you don't hold the keys to your assets, then you don't hold those assets. So get your assets off of the exchanges, put them somewhere safe in a wallet. And me personally, I prefer the Nano Ledger. You can choose the Bluetooth, or you can choose the USB model with the X or the S. So that's up to you, whichever one that you feel most comfortable with. And there's also a link available in the description below. Much love, and we will catch you in the next one.